good evening, everybody. Yeah, I'm going to be talking to Sue. I had a good conversation with Sue earlier this evening, and I thought, you know what? I'm just asking questions here, and if I'm asking the questions, I'm sure there's people in the team asking the same questions and want the same answers. So I asked Sue if she would share with us tonight how in the last few weeks she has taken her team, her online Facebook group, her Facebook group, how she's taken it from just over 400 members to just over 2,000 members in a relatively short space of time. Sue, are you there? Is your camera on and your microphone live? Cheers. So Sue, first of all, can you tell us when you first started building your online group and when you started really getting consistent with it? Because I know there was a bit of a gap in between. So if you could just tell us a bit about
it. Yeah, I started building it 6 months ago, probably, 6 to 8 months ago initially, and very, very slowly trickled the members up to round about 390, 400, round about that. One thing after another, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but sort of took a step back from the business because I was breeding puppies and different things and one thing and another, so I didn't really bother with it for quite a while. I've recently left a full-time job due to health issues. So obviously I've had more time to concentrate on the business. So realistically, I've just started getting back into it about period 9 onwards, as regards the online selling. So what I've done basically, round about halfway through period 9, we've got 428 members, I believe it was.
Can I just explain to the new people on here that we're just into period 10. We're into 2 weeks into period 10. So halfway through period 9 is just about 4 weeks ago, guys. So it's as recent as 4 weeks ago. So yeah, sorry about that, Sue.
Yeah, that's fine. No, that's fine. And since we spoke earlier on, the group has grown even more massively. We've now got just over 3,000 members.
Bloody hell.
And basically, the things that I've been doing, I've got a few numbers here for you as well, but I'll explain what I've done first of all. I started running I started doing this on week 3 of period 9, and I started running a weekly competition, not a monthly one. I did a monthly one before, didn't really get much response from it. So I thought, right, okay, and I started to do a weekly competition. The first prize was a £15 voucher to spend on anything I wanted in the group page. And we had, like I said, round about 400 people. By the end of period 9, it went up to 733 people. So that was in a week. So far to date, just before I came up here upstairs, we've got 3,004 members.
Fantastic.
And basically, what I've done is the weekly competition. I'm offering a different prize every single week, up to the value of £15. I don't spend any more than £15. Sometimes it's £10. What you've got to think, guys, is this is an investment in your own business, because you're not actually paying £15 because that's what they think they're getting. Obviously, you're going to get it at cost price. This week's prize is the snow globe, £15. It's actually costing us £11.50, something like that. Because I've done that snow, just for example, this week, just by putting that snow globe on, we have had so many people join the group because of that picture, because they like it and they want to win it. And we've had so many people buy from the group that wasn't in the group before, prior to this competition. So I've more than made my £11.50 back.
So how much would you say you've done in sales in your group this week then, or this period?
Just this week I've done £354.50, and so far the period I've done £733.50 in total.
That's fantastic, Sue. Absolutely brilliant. And how often are you posting in your group? And And how do you work your group on a daily basis to generate those orders? Just basically what you do.
Okay, I post every single day without fail. Every day. Some days I do more than others, depending on what other commitments, activities I've got going on, you know. Basically, I'll do a few adverts in the morning. I always post new products into the group page every single day without fail. A minimum of 5 new products, really, usually. The other day I put 20 in. I put 20 new products in the group in one day, and I got loads and loads of orders from that, from people already on the group.
Fantastic. And how many other groups would you say you're in around your local area that you post in regularly? And tell us a bit about what you do in the other groups.
Okay, I've got 30 local groups that are saved in my favourites, or that are all local to me. And every single item that I put, not every single item, but a lot of the items I put in my group page, I advertise on all the 30, the local group, my favourites, plus about 20 other ones as well, national. And I mix the national ones up. I don't advertise in the same 20, 25 national ones all the way. So I do change that round slightly. I've had orders, you know, from people that are in London and all over the place. And obviously you just send them the PayPal link from that if they live too far away for collection. So don't be afraid to go further afield with your advertising. What I would say is your main focus will be your local groups, but also add a few national ones, you know, further afield. Even Ireland, I even advertise in Ireland, Irish groups. You know, you can go wherever you like, as long as you send them the correct link, the euro link rather than the pound link, it's not a problem. So.
Fantastic, brilliant. Just finally,
one of the things that's helped.
Go on.
Sorry.
Go on, you know.
I was just going to say, the one thing that's helped our group grow so much, especially in the last few days, has been the competition that I've pinned at the top of the page. What I do is I keep regular updates on it. I keep the whole group updated on who's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth place, whatever. This week we've got 8 people that have actually added people to the group. So earlier on tonight, about 6 o'clock tonight, I did an update and there was 8 people that have added people. So I did first to 8th place, and within an hour of putting that on, we had another 185 people added, because that generates a competition within the competitors themselves. Because if somebody can see that they're second place or third place, they start adding more people because they want to be first and win the prize.
Fantastic, excellent.
Don't put down numbers. You don't put how many they've added, because somebody might think, oh, I've got no chance, they've added too many, I haven't got that many friends. So you don't reveal the numbers until the competition's finished.
Right, brilliant, great advice. Create competition, people are competitive. Can I just ask you one final question, really, before we move on to the next couple? But obviously you started doing this 8-9 months ago, but it's only really in the last 4 to 6 weeks that you've had massive growth within your team, and things have really changed. So what would be the one key point that you would suggest that you're doing differently now to what you were doing back then? What is the best advice you could give anybody watching this webinar tonight or the recording?
Right, it's not just one. I think it's 2 or 3 things that have made the difference massively. First one is consistency. Post consistently 3 or 4 times a day without fail, every single day. Without fail. Do as much as you can without fail. Even if you're at work or part-time or whatever, get the phone app and do it on your phone. If I'm out, unfortunately, I lost one of my family members earlier this week. She passed away, and in amongst all the I mean, you're not going to believe this, but in amongst all the sitting around waiting in hospitals for doctors and things, I was sitting on my phone posting adverts. I've got nothing else to do. I was sitting there waiting. You know, make the use of the bits of time that you've got, because it makes such a difference. So be as consistent with it as possible. The other thing I can say is promote your group page and your prize, your competition. That's really had a lot of effect on it as well. I put a little message out and just put basically, how would you like the chance to win this fantastic snow globe worth £15, absolutely free. For more details, check out the pinned post. Make sure you put pinned post on it, because if people are on their phone, they don't see the pinned post unless they click on it. It doesn't show up on their phone. It only shows up on your laptop, on your computer. And I post that in all my local groups and a few national groups, and you have loads of people join. I've had quite a few people join from that yesterday, and they've added tons of people today.
So we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. I hope the team appreciates it. You're having fantastic success with your group. But what I want you all to realise, guys, is that it's not just about generating orders from your group. That list of over 3,000 people are now potentially people that could join Sue's team and Andy's team and want to do exactly the same thing. So they now are building a relationship with 3,000 people who already know, trust and buy the product, who may eventually then want to sell it themselves, and you can start building a fantastic business with the list that you're creating from your customers. So thank you, Sue. Karen, Sue, if you just mute out and switch off your camera, I'd really appreciate that. That's brilliant. Thank you. And again, thanks for your input to the team and sharing that advice. Karen Hall, or Rob even, Rob, if you can, Rob, formerly known as Karen, if you can unmute your microphone and turn on your camera, mate, that'd be much appreciated.
Hey,
Hi. Right, well, Rob just gets himself ready. I want for you new guys to understand that Rob and Karen have been in the business for a couple of years, and they are regularly, if not always, for a long time now, being the #1 retailers, not only in Karen Boardman's business, but in my business as well, and in many cases in Neil Young's business, which is over 500 distributors. The reason I've asked Rob to speak tonight is because they've completely upped sticks. How many miles have you moved, Rob, from where you lived originally?
it's about an hour and a half.
About an hour and a half, so that's at least probably 80 to 90, if not 100 miles from where they used to live, and they've just restarted completely building their business in a brand new location. Okay, so the only difference between Rob and Karen and you new guys starting out as doing catalogues, that's chosen to do catalogues, the only difference between you and them is experience. They've had a few years of experience to know now what to expect. So Rob, can you just tell us about a little bit about your background, why you've moved, and how you've started retailing and everything since?
Yeah, well, I worked for Lloyd for many years, Lloyd's Bank. Karen used to work on cruise ships on the Queen Mary, actually, as the retail manager there. We met online years ago now. Karen gave up her life. I was under a very, very stressful job. In fact, I've been off work with stress. They moved me down to Bristol from where we lived, which meant a long commute. Then they made me do another job which I didn't know how to do, learn that job, and then they moved me into a different department, wouldn't make me redundant. In the end, I'd had enough of it and walked out, just left the job, and joined Karen full-time in Clean Easy. And that's basically where we started. So we went full on retail, and we built up a customer base over a couple of years. So that we were 2,500 customers at its height, but then we got to the position where we could just cherry pick the customers we wanted to go to, and not have to deal with the ones that were either too far out or were too much of a hassle for us to go to. So we cherry picked our customers, meant that we weren't working 2.5 days a week, and we were retailing 5,000 on average per period. The last period before we moved, we retailed 8,500 pounds.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
As I was saying, why we moved, we have it was our main #1 goal since we've been together, to move out of town life into the country. So this is our escape to the country. We now live in a cottage, which is a former tollgate cottage, surrounded by fields. There are no neighbours left, front, behind. There's a potato field behind us, a wheat field that side, and a hill that side. and that is basically what we wanted, and where we've got to. That was our #1 goal. It just meant that we had to start again, but I'm not bound by having to work in an office and having to work close by where my office is. My office is wherever we want to take it, really, as clean, easy as possible.
So you can even build a clean, easy business while living in a field.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, fantastic. So Rob, just tell us about how you've started out now then. So you've moved house, you obviously don't live very close to other areas, so I presume you've decided to get in the car and travel. How many catalogues are you delivering? What's your strategy now for creating orders?
Well, the first thing is you've got to know where you want to be. You've got to know what you want to do, what you want to achieve. So if you're a new starter, do you want to do 1,000 retail? Do you want to do 10%, £760 worth of retail? Do you want to do more than that? So you've got to know what your goal is first. You've got to know what you want to retail. So we want to retail £5,000 per period. It's somewhere between £4,000 and £5,000 a period. And that is what we will do. That's what we were doing, and that's what we will do again. It doesn't matter where we are. And what really gets to me sometimes is people don't believe that Clean Easy works. So Clean Easy wouldn't have been around since 1923 if it didn't work. So we are absolutely certain, without any doubt whatsoever, that wherever we go in the country, we could build a Clean Easy base to the level that we want to do. So what we've done is we've looked at the areas we want to go to, which is the nearest city to us now, which is 15 minutes away. But as we were living in a busy town before, it took us 15 minutes to get to just a few miles down the road to our first drop before. Now we're in the countryside, it's just country lanes into the city. So it's the same, it's a bit further distance, but it's the same travel time. So we know what we want to do. So we've decided, we've printed out a lot of maps from Google and sellotaped them all together. And then we've divided the area that we want to cover. Now, for us, that's a big area. But if you're just starting out, that can be your local area. It can be as big as you want. You can expand on it. But we've basically just drawn lines over this big map into 5 areas. And basically what we're doing, first week we'll drop, we're doing 2 drops a week, that's all. There are 2 of us doing it, and we're doing around about 200 to 250 catalogues each per drop, twice a week. So if it's just one of you doing it, it's the same as like one of us doing it. We're doing double. I'm still doing 200 to 250 catalogues twice a week. I'm doing that. Karen is doing exactly the same. So we're dropping between 400 and 500 catalogues twice a week. And we've divided the area up into 5. So we'll do drop 1 and drop 2 in area 1. Then we'll move to area 2, and we'll do drop, etc., 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 until we've gone all the way around in a actually anti-clockwise circle until we arrive back in 5 weeks' time at drop 1 again, where we will then actually just carry on from where we were. So we're knocking out the ones we didn't get back, and we will expand on that area, and then we'll move on and move on and move on. Fantastic, excellent, brilliant advice. And have you come across other distributors, Rob, in the country? Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. We had our Colossal Force chap deliver our first one and tell us all about the distribution and all about the other Clean Easy boxes that come into his depot. We've come across 2 named distributors who we haven't heard much about. We've seen catalogues from another couple of distributors who are not consistent, and how we have been told so, and are not very professional. And we have come across a distributor who has been in the business a long time, is very professional, very good, but he has been in Directors Club. He isn't currently Directors Club qualification, but he has a very loyal customer base. And basically, we are turning up, and they are telling him, they are naming him to us, saying, "Oh no, we don't want your catalogue. We already have John." So we're coming across him a lot. But that's great. He's got a very loyal customer base. That's brilliant. I prefer it if they tell us, and we'll just move next door and get the order from next door. That's something I really want to mention, because you just mentioned there that you are coming across other distributors. But just tell everybody, are you still getting customers in spite of that, Rob? Absolutely, absolutely. We picked up about £350 worth of orders today in the rain. One thing I will say, it was raining this morning. It's absolutely chucking it down this morning here. We could have just looked out the window and gone, nah, let's just not bother. But by going out there and just picking up, we picked up £350. And, you know, the people we saw on the doorstep, you know, we could have said, oh, we're getting really wet. But they were sitting us and saying, well, these guys are coming and they're coming around and they'll note that. And next time they will definitely look at the catalogue and probably give us an order because they know we're serious.
Absolutely. I can remember people saying to me, what, you're delivering on a bank holiday? And I used to say, yeah, but I'm not a bank. You know, it's not my holiday. I can take any day of the week off. So wet weather, bank holidays, whatever. You're self-employed. You can work whatever hours you want, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm just going to summarise a few things you said there, Rob, because I'm conscious of time, but there's so much we could talk about, going back for stragglers, getting orders. Yes, we all lose catalogues, and so on and so on. But the key points I want to point out that really you should have taken notes on if you're listening is the first thing is know what you want. Have a goal. Know what it is. Know what your target is, because unless you have a target, how do you know if you've hit it or missed it? Okay, imagine 22 people running around a football field with no goals at the either end. How would you know which team was winning if nobody could score? All right, what would be the point? So what is the point of your retail? What is it that you want to achieve? The other thing I wanted to mention is there's two of you doing it, but yet you're doing no more than what one person would do. Okay, so for those of you that are in couples that are building your business together, if you feel you aren't getting the results, then I, as a single person at the time when I joined Clean Easy, used to do 200 catalogues twice a week on my own. That's 400 catalogues a week. Rob and Karen are doing no different, but they're a couple. So each of them are taking responsibility for their own 250 catalogues twice a week. So between them, they are getting out between 800 and 1,000 catalogues a week. Okay, and that's what anybody can do. And believe me, if you did that, you would make awesome money and build a customer base very quickly. So if two of you are capable of doing that, then my advice would be then both of you crack on and do it, because it'll really make you the money a lot quicker. And I think the other thing, Rob, is can you just tell people again, sorry, I think I missed it, what you've personally retailed so far in just 2 weeks?
There's, well, I think what we're up to, about £800 on the system at the moment. We've got over 1,000 that isn't on the system yet. So we've got about 1,800 or so that's ready to go, or in.
Fantastic. And that's just doing what we teach everyone to do. And that's not in Bristol, where they used to live, where the top retailers in the whole of Clean Easy live as well. But that's at least 100 miles away in the middle of the country, travelling. Okay, it covers your costs, it covers your expenses. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Andy, for your time tonight. I'm going to hand back over to Dave so he can wrap it up. If anybody has any questions on either Facebook or cataloguing, get them emailed up to me at ridersrhinos@btinternet.com and we'll get them answered straight away. Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers. Back over to you, Dave.